Hello guys, welcome to my YouTube channel, and this is my very first video. Today I'm going to talk about React, and we will discuss about useState. What is useState and why we use it and how we manage it in our React application, and why useState is very important to learn to use because uh, okay, so if we talk about the definition, useState is a React hook that lets you add state to a functional component. So it's a pretty simple definition. So it means you have a function component and you want to use state. You want to manage state somewhere, right? Based on that state, maybe state can be a numeric value, state can be some kind of object, or maybe some kind of boolean value. Based on that value, maybe if the current state is a boolean, maybe true or false. So based on that true or false, you want to show some kind of UI, or maybe you want to do some kind of logic based on that state. So it's really important topic, you need to understand that. And today we will discuss with the three simple examples. So very first example is I'm going to create so right now we have this app component. My application is already running, so and you can see everything here in the browser. So what we're gonna do, so first of all, I have this h1. In this h1, let's say I say counter. Okay, so in this counter, after this counter, I'm going to have some buttons. So this button will be like this. Okay, and with this button, in this button I can say, okay, I just simply say in CREMENT. Okay, increment. Sorry for my spelling mistakes, I'm really bad with the spellings. Okay, and here another button. Okay, and I can say decrement. Okay, now we have two buttons here. Perfect. You can see counter here, increment and decrement. Right now, let's say I have some kind of span here, and in this span, let's say I have a 0. Now for some reason I have a task or some kind of requirement, I want to update this counter by clicking on this increment, and by clicking decrement. So it's really common task. If you use social media, you can see there's so many places when you click on like button, or so you can see when someone like it, the counter or like state change. Okay, you have 10 likes, you have 20 likes. So similar like for comments, when someone comments, it's incremented. So it's a pretty common task. So how we can achieve this? So for achieving this, we need to have some kind of state. Okay, so for state, what we can do, we need to create a state variable here. So for creating state variable, we need an array, and here to have the actual variable name. So it will be count, count, count. And so this is the variable, but for updating this variable, we can't directly update this variable, we need to have some kind of function. So it's set count. This is how we when we use useState, this is how we define or declare. So now we can use useState from React. So basically we're using this useState from React, and we are importing here. So this is a variable, and this is the set count function which update this variable. So we can't directly do something like this count equal to 0. No, we can't do that. It's not allowed in React. So for initial value, we can set 0, and we can use here this count variable. So you can see still 0. If you want to verify, I can say 2, and you can see it updated. Perfect. So that's simple. Now we have created our useState variable. We have this state, we are managing this state in this count. We can create multiple states. Okay, so now I want to increment. So for increment, simply I can do on click. With on click, in on click, the what I can say, I can create another arrow function. In that arrow function I could say, okay, so I want to increment in this count. Okay, so what I can do, I can say set. So I'm going to use the set count function, and I will say count what was the previous value and plus 1. So simply we can do that. Okay, and save it. Now if I click on this increment, you can see the value is getting increment. Similar like for decrement, we can do copy and paste, and we can do negative minus here, so it will decrement the value. And one thing you need to keep in mind, whenever state change, component will re-render. So this is very important thing you need to understand. Whenever a state change, the component will re-render. Okay, perfect. So I hope you understand this one. Let's go to another example. So for another example, we have this hide and show. So what we can do, we can just remove everything here. We can remove this state here. Let's say we have this state, we can change the state name. So let's say show and set show. Okay, and by default it's true. Okay, true, tr. Okay, true, perfect. Now here I have, let's say we have a text, some kind of text, maybe 4. Okay, perfect. Now I want to have a button. When I click on this button, so let's say I said hide. Okay, when I click on this button, so the scenario is I have this text here and this button. When I going to click on this button, this text should be hide, and when I click again on this button, this text should show up, but this text, the button text, should also change hide to show, show to hide. So how we can achieve that? So like I said, state, we have a state we already created. So how state work? Because this show is the current state, okay, and the set show is the function that update that value, so state update. So whenever state change, component will re-render. You need to understand this. Okay, so what we can do, we can simply come here. So first thing first, we can do something like this and say show. Now we can show this ampersand and boom, like this. So simple as that. If this is true, it will show. If it's false, it's not. So we can see here false. See if we can't, now you can see there is no text because it's false. If I change to true, it's showing. So how we can manage with this button? Simple as that, like before we did it. So yes, on click, you're right. So simply set show, and now here what we can do, we have this previous value. Okay, prev, preview value, and with this previous value we can do something like, we can change something like this. So previous value of true, do it false. If it's false, do it opposite. Okay, I hope it makes sense. But for some reason it's not doing something. So it's true. Okay, so I did some mistake here. So what we need to do here, we need the narrow function, then set show, and now we want to go preview, sorry, previous, and now you can see if I click this hide and show. One little thing I wanted to do here is this, want to change this one. So it's pretty simple. What we can do, we can say show. If show is true, let's say, so then show hide. If not, then show. And I'm definitely getting error because I forgot this bracket. Okay, perfect. When you click on this one, show, hide, show, perfect. So I hope you understand what is going on here. So basically, simply we managing state like this, and we based on that boolean value we're hide and showing this text.